Officially, the first F1 GP was held here in 1951 and has been a staple of the calendar almost every year since it was first hosted. This circuit also hosts a round of the MotoGP Championship, known as the Catalan Grand Prix. The race has been won 6 times by the legendary, now retired Valentino Rossi. Lella Lombardi is the only woman to have scored a top 6 finish in an F1 World Championship race, and she did it here in the 1975 Spanish GP. It was back in 1994 that Michael Schumacher managed to finish in 2nd place, despite driving over half the race with only 5th gear. Benetton B194 Schumacher was driving went on to allow him to win the World Drivers' Championship later that year. Barcelona has been used for pre-season testing on multiple occasions over the last few decades.
Alright, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cat and dogs, and whatever animals the fuck you are out there, we are back for round 2 of Flashpoint Season 4. We're in Spain. It's beautiful weather, it's 30 degrees outside, and we're watching a McLaren on his out lap going to the last corner onto the first flying lap of this session. We are hyped as always. Why wouldn't be? We have 18 drivers and only one of them will get the pole position today. So DJ Boss 235 comes around the penultimate corner, the Circuit de Catalunya. Final corner, just downshift, slide out straight again, and he puts in a 111.2. A lot of people are on their laps now. Montana with a 10.9. 310 faster than DJ Boss. I'm still having some issues here with some live telemetry. The connection for some reason does not want to work, so still trying to fix that so I can see some live lab data on my computer. Seems to be some issues anyway. VFR Ian X1's crossed the line, 6 people have finished the lap time already. That was definitely faster than DJ Boss. And he puts himself 7th, so it's a little bit slower, and CPI Volcano goes fastest on a 10.7, so times are plummeting. As Gutkowski is the next to cross the line, and he goes P2 on the 10.7. His teammate Igor currently in the middle sector. Reshaped last sector of this circuit has been changed a few times in the last couple of years. Now, of course, the last 2 corners being almost flat, and the chicane has been taken away. A lot more flowing this track now, as the Eagle and the other Mercedes go sit on a 110.9, just ahead of both of the Ferraris. Verstappen, Chandler, they're all on slow laps. Jamie, the last to cross the line. Oh no, he's pitting. And it's like Seeley on his outlap. The winner of round 1, of course, we shouldn't forget. Really good performance he's shown in Bahrain. Beating Gerald Limitless in the end, staying ahead of him, and then managing to stay ahead of him on the last lap. It was a really good fight. Speaking of Limitless, he is currently sitting in P7 on 10.9 as NSX Seeley tries to prepare his lap time as good as he can. Couple other drivers who try to get on the outlets again. You see the McLaren of TJ Bosco for picking up again. But let's stay on board for now with NSX Seeley. Winner of last race, currently championship leader, of course he is, as he opens his DRS and comes down the main straight, clocking in some 322 kilometers per hour, braking just after the 100 meters. Takes a lot of curb in turn 2, 5th gear. Now around turn 3, fully flat out in these cars, of course. As he approaches turn 4, a lot of curb on the inside. The game says he's got a purple sector. I'm not too sure about that, but I guess we will see. And he's coming down the hill now, turn 5. Uphill chicane next. Turn 7 and 8, don't touch the sausage curb. Turn 9, flat of course, stay away from the Astro curb on the left side. As we come into the refurbished turn 10, now really a long hairpin, used to be a very tight hairpin. Unfortunately, I have to say, at least for the game, I also real life I think takes away a little bit of overtaking opportunity. As Seeley finishes his lap around the last corner. And he goes P3, so maybe that first sector was purple, but I don't care that much, to be honest, to check. If my live timing was working, I would know, but of course it isn't. It was programmed by Russian, I shouldn't be surprised. Okay, let's go and have a watch for GFO Marius. Both Ferraris showed great pace in the previous round. So let's see what they can do here. Those GFO guys, very fast of course. Okay, enough enjoyment of these beautiful pictures of a red Ferrari car driven by GFO Marius around the Circuit de Catalunya as he finishes the lap. Only P9, hasn't really improved on this lap, unfortunate for him. Limitless currently on an out lap. Gatkowski is starting out lap, so let's stay on him. Currently 1 minute 10.7. Into turn 1, missed the apex by a little bit, but I think he's getting away with that. Really an awkward corner this turn 5, as he just outproduced a lot of understeer mid-corner. It's a little bit off camber too, which really makes it just a little bit of an odd shaped corner. Cambered corners, of course, a lot more enjoyable for the driver as they're banked to the inside, and that lateral load doesn't go into the wrong direction. Last couple of corners for the black Mercedes. That is incredibly dirty already for some reason. I'm not sure if he's had enough or not. You can see it on the side. Very dirty car. Driven by a dirty driver, of course, so it does make a little bit of sense. Gedkowski improves just a little bit, not really a lot as well. So you see with the tire marbles, of course, everything is a lot more difficult today. Especially around corners like turn 3. But Limitless has produced the purple middle sector for the moment, as he's the next car to cross the line. I think he barely lifted it at all in the last corner, but it's only enough for P8, and he also improved. Not that much, 1.5 tenths, so again, not showing the greatest qualifying performance. Just as last week, we saw him. I don't even know where he started. I think P7. But he is always a driver for the race. Eli. Also in a very dirty car. For some reason, everybody's got dirty cars. But let's see as he bounces his way. Of course, I'm just joking. There's no porpoising in this game. Turn 1. Turn 2, very nice. Flat out. Turn 3 stays on the inside, so he's gonna get the top tire models. We see a slow moving Alfa Romeo who's moved out of the way nicely. Now around turn 4. Very, very wide. Turn 5 keeps it neat and tidy. Now the most technical parts of the circuit. Turn 7, 8 chicane. Turn 9 flat out. Here is open. Another odd corner coming up. Turn 11, don't lock your rears. He doesn't. Goes very wide, takes all of the track that is available to him. As he goes too wide, and that should be invalidation, though it isn't. But I think he left it off. Yeah. Unfortunate for Eli, there's not going to be any improvement. But we can watch one of his mates, NSX Montana, in the Alpine. Was also trying to prove his lap. Let's see, sector 2 split, also barely an improvement, but apparently he makes another purple sector. Not too sure if that is right, but we just take it as it is and believe it. But he pits anyway. So everybody is in the pits, a part of VFR Ian, was improved by a little bit more than a tenth after 2 sectors. So he's not gonna move up that much as he runs wide and invalidates his lap around turn 13 or turn 12, the exit, I should rather say, as the first cars are starting their out laps. And we see GFO, Lizard, and VFR Ian is disqualified for being in the wrong way. Oh yeah, he's overshot the pit. That's unfortunate. That's a big L. What an idiot. That's funny. Ah, bro, get skill. Well, last place for him. GFO Lizard wants to improve a lot. He almost gets crashed out by the disqualified car, which is somehow still on the track. But GFO Lizard, with his great anticipation, of course, you saw him just moving away in the last moment. Incredible driving by the Alfa Romeo. Who goes a bit wide, a bit deep into turn 2. What is going on with these cars? Why are they all so dirty, for real? Like, there's no rain. I haven't seen anybody really going off bit weird. Anyway. See the split, there's barely an improvement. See what Jamie can do. He's improved by 700s after the first sector. Oh, a little bit of oversteer. Drifts around the corner. I don't think he's lost that much time there. But he could encounter some traffic. There's some slow cars ahead of him. Alpine moved out of the way very nicely. And he should be fine from here. But he's invalidated. He's invalidated. Oh, he must have gone over the line by a little bit as Carl 24 goes provisional pole on a 10.5. Dallas Bryce just starting his lap, but the first people are already coming out of the last corner. We see some slipstreaming going on. We're just gonna watch Tadej Bra what he can do here. There's a Red Bull who's abandoned his lap. Oh, it's Mango who's still on out lap, yeah. So Mango and GFO Drukatos are the last people to start out lap, I think. Still no real changes. Most of the drivers are currently on their hot laps first. Everybody has now crossed the line. So this is it. GFO Laser is not going to improve. Tadej Bra comes across the line. He doesn't improve really. TJ Boss gets a grid penalty for a collision with Dracos. I don't know what happened there. Montana goes into P8. Oh, he doesn't look that lucky. Limitless. He's improved on his lap. Let's see how much it's going to be as he crosses the line. He improves by a little bit more than a 10, goes into P4. Getkovsky, next guy, he could... Oh, he's made a mistake. Unfortunate, I think. He looked a little bit frustrated. I think he's gonna moan about Spain in a minute in the chat. I'll make sure to keep you updated on that in case that happens. He also won, I should mention, maybe he also won yesterday in Flashpoint in the other tier on the two-stop strategy in Spain, of course. So that was a really nice victory for him. Seeley pits, he doesn't improve as well. He was P2. I don't even know if he was P2 or not. Not sure if there's anybody still on the lap. I don't think so, no. Nope, that's it for qualifying. So we got Carl in pole position out of nowhere. At least it seemed to me like that. Mango, massive disappointment, but yeah, what do you expect, I guess. Not a surprise. Noel, underperformed, I would say. But if we look to the other side, Carl with a great performance in quali, no question, surprised everybody. NSX Seeley in P2 after his victory last week, great position to start this race. And CPI Volcano, who's had a long battle with Mango in the first race. And he also received a penalty, for those of you who haven't checked up with the stewards. He's got a 5-second penalty for making contact with Mango. I think it was on the penultimate lap or so. Stewart said no to him, you can't do that. So he received a penalty. I don't even know where he finished, probably P4. or not probably P4, he finished further behind. Race results, we can have a look. Mango finished P12. Volcano finished P10, and yeah, he's dropped a few positions with his penalty. So yeah, I guess that was fully deserved. He's out in P3 today, ahead of Limitless. These first three guys within a 10th. Cucumber in P5, Getkowski ahead of his teammate Igor in P6 and 7. Igor usually very, very good in qualifying. Not today. Wasn't his day apparently. See what they can do in the race. Maybe they crush each other out. That would be quite interesting. This Polish duo. Jamie in P8 ahead of Montana in P9, and Thales rounds up the top 10 in the McLaren. So it's raining in the race. What the fuck is this? Oh my god, this is gonna be such a long race. Anyway, I hope my audio is fine. I have no idea, to be honest. Didn't check anything. I don't know if the sound is okay, or if the audio is, like, the microphone is okay, or both is not okay, or something is louder than the other. I don't know. So please tell me. Much appreciated. Also donate to me, and I'll give you my PayPal in a second. I think I should be paid like 20 euros an hour for this. So yeah, donate will be great. Currently watching this rain. Looks very interesting. Looks to be very wet, I think. I'd be quite surprised if we see people on intermediates, but you know, you always see surprises. I think ever since that Jan Wapmir race in China, I believe it was, in 2021, wasn't it? Yeah, where he just started on intermediates and everybody else was on wets. As lights go out, 5 lights, no lights, and away we go. I think most people are on the wet tires. Carl stays in the lead ahead of NSX Seeley. There's Jamie already going wide on your left-hand side. But it's Seeley who's got the inside. He moves into the lead. You see Limitless making a move on Volcano. He should be ahead of him. There's Mercedes and the McLaren who are off track. I think that was Igor and Talispro. I'm not sure if they made contact. Getkowski in P5. But he's already trying to go around the outside of Volcano. We see a yellow flag. TJ Boss dropped away to the end. As we see cars going side by side in the midfield. Spine has a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. Oh, he hasn't given away the position, so that's unlucky, mate. Should have just given back the position, I guess. Because he's going to serve the penalty, and serve penalties are usually unremovable. But as it stands, we had a change of lead. So Seeley moves past Carl, and Limitless also moves past Volcano. At the back of the field, they're still fighting. There's another yellow flag, and now we see virtual safety car. I'm not sure for what reason. Is the Alpine swap position under the virtual safety car? And so they're all on wet tires. As we see the full safety car now. I have no idea what the weather forecast is at the moment. There's no DNF. I'm not sure if anybody has got damage or not. But it's lap 2 and the safety car is out. Biggest gain out for the start. We see NLR Mango in P11 and VFR Ian in P12. They both made up 5 and 6 positions. As we see somebody pitting, Spine FL and Noel. I'm not sure if Spine changed his wing. Didn't really look like it. See what Noel does. Spine went back to another set of... Yeah, he's gonna change his front wing and the new set of wet tires, just as NSX Spine. And they are back out on track and should rejoin this group very quickly, but the safety car is not gonna come in this lap, so we will definitely see another lap of safety car racing. right, we are back. Just in time for the safety car to come back in as Eli is still in the lead. I think the rain has not reduced the slightest as he puts pedal to the metal and goes back racing, and I think he's already created a little bit of a gap to Carl behind him, but Limitless is very close. And also just behind Gatkowski, very close to Volcano in the Aston Martin, and he's already going quite defensive. But nothing to be done for the Mercedes. As we have... Oh, there you go. I was just going to say, we have no changes in position, but then I think Gian just went past Salisbury. And Ferrari going wide. That's Giffo Drakatos, who's coming under pressure now by the Alfa Romeo of Lizard, but he just shuts them the door. So nothing he can do there, the Alfa Romeo driver. And you can see the rain is still raining like shit. And the rain also looks shit, but that's a different thing. And now Volcano drops position, so I think he's made a mistake. Yeah, he's got no grip whatsoever. He's plummeting down. He was in P5, he lost the position to Gatkowski, and then he just dropped further, slotting back into P7. And you see Gorgelin now right behind his back as they come across the start lap 5 of this race. 1 minute 26.1 the lap time for the moment. And no opportunity for an overtake. You have to push a lot of ERS, but there you see big slide by Volcano that should give the Mercedes of Igor another chance, and he's still trying to fight the car. You can see how he's fighting the steering wheel through turn 3s. A lot slower than it looks like everybody around him. I don't know what is going on, if he's got low temperature in his tires, if he's overheating, no idea. And now Lizard gets past Drakatos at the back, but there's still foul, I think. Oh, what's going on here? Lizard must have made a mistake. He's also dropping in positions. And at the front of the field, you see Sila having a 2.1 second gap now to the cars behind him. So he's said goodbye to everybody else and just went off into the distance to try and win this race. As there's a move by Ian. Lizard might even have damage, I don't know. He's just really struggling, having no grip whatsoever in the last sector. But Sila is storming ahead now, 2.0 seconds the gap. Maybe he's used lots of his energy. He's got 50%. Yes, he's used some more. Carl is saving a bit more ERS than him, but he's got Limitless behind him who's pushing. Of course he is, and he's got the most ERS of the top 3. And Gatkowski is also still in the train, and there's 1.2 second gap between the cars behind. There's still some moves at the back of the field in very unusual places. But this time, oh, this time was actually in turn 2, and somebody's dropped it. I just thought, yeah, it's VF for Ian, unfortunate. I don't know if he made contact, I only saw the car spinning away at the bottom of the screen. And Marius moves past Jamie. Mango moves past Jamie. Jamie is dropping in positions 2 now, but they make contact. You see right behind Talisbury, both Williams in that fight there as they come up turn 7 and 8. Oh, I think that was black, not too sure. And now there's massive gaps opening up. I must have missed something as I was looking on my monitor for a moment. Limitless is now having a 1.7 second gap to Carl as Gatkowski suddenly tries to attack the Red Bull. Oh, they're very close now around turn 3, turn 4, nothing he can do here. Dive bomb opportunity coming up. So Limitless should defend this on the inside. No, but he is too far away. Is Gatkowski as we see a yellow flag, so that's VRT Noel. I think he had made contact with his teammate. So both of them can continue. But Limitless stays ahead of Gatkowski, but the gap is just opening up to Carl ahead. Oh, and you see Jeffo Dragato still struggling for grip like hell. I don't know why you see some drivers having no grip whatsoever and some others seem to be flying. Maybe that's a setup related issue for some of these drivers. But you see these few people that have no grip, even though they're on the same tire, the same age of tire than the cars ahead of them, and they're just so much slower. I think there's also a little bit of lag involved with the Ferrari of Jeffo Dragatos. And Jamie now trying to attack Talisborough. Still nothing he can do. Talisborough stays ahead, goes a little bit deep. That should give the Williams driver a better line around turn 2 and 3. And now he's very close. Oh, and Jamie, but he's made a mistake, and that opens the door for the Ferrari of Dragatos, and he gets past Jamie. Oh, that was really unfortunate for the Williams, but he's still in the race at least. Last week, both of them retired, and now Spine is spinning away, and Jamie spinning off. Oh no, that's a massive L for the Williams. Well, I was just saying last week he retired and it was going better for him, but until now, I wouldn't be surprised to seeing him back into the pit lane for another retirement, as he, I think, lags his way around turn 5. Both of them making contact. It looked fairly unfortunate, is what it is. Oh, I'm really not sure if that's lag or if that's fighting in the car. Looks really weird at least. And Dragatos makes his way past the McLaren of Talisborough. 3.9 seconds, the lead now for Sally. You can see it on the map. Jamie spins again, second time, gets overtaken by Ian very soon, who was 20 seconds or something behind these guys just 1 minute ago. So another horrible day for the Williams driver. We don't see Rui driving today. He was driving last week out. Now we see Viafor Gian. I think he's a reserve. But nobody is going into the pit lane just yet. Oh, as I say it, it's CPI Jamie, and we're gonna watch him retire, I guess. Waiting. There it is. GG, mate. Massive L. Big shame. Second retirement in the row. I said it last week. I say it again. That's nothing your team, your sponsors, everybody. There's nothing they want to see. There should be some serious discussions being made. That really is not okay. But back to the front. What is going on here? Limitless seems very slow. He's just lost a few positions against Gatkowski and then against Montana. Oh, and now he's making contact with Cucumber. Montana briefly gained the position again. So Limit is now dropped into P5. He surely made a mistake or had contact with Gatkowski. Because Gatkowski now in P3 with a big gap to these guys. And Limitless tries... Oh, he just tries to show the Alpine that he's still there. You know, so the Alpine can see in his mirrors that are going to be dirty as fuck. That there should be a dark Red Bull. But good luck seeing that through very dirty and wet mirrors on a fairly dark day here in Barcelona. as for some reason we only have 10 fucking laps. There's been only 10 laps. Jamie leaves the session. Bye-bye. Get a replacement. Get him out. Get a replacement for the Williams. Enel MP6 might be the guy. Great racing we can see here between the McLaren and the Ferrari of Talisbro and Drakatos. I think there's a lot of lag going on here. Not sure why that is. And the Ferrari tries to go for a move again, but nothing he can do. Talisbro brakes very late and shuts the door. And that is not really a corner you can drive anyway without the DRS. Very tricky, but Talisbro slides himself around turn 3. Well, that gives the Ferrari another chance. No, it does not give him another chance. He stays behind in P13. Meanwhile, Mango, P9, he made up a couple of positions. Had a very good start, made up 5 positions on lap 1, which turned into 6 very shortly after. Now running in P9, behind Igor. The gaps are still very big up front. Carl now 3.8 behind NSX, who seems to be in full control of this race. Getkovsky now comfortably in P3, can try and recharge his energy a little bit, but Cucumber has gained a little bit of time in the last lap, around 2/10. Maybe he's starting to push some of his ERS again, as we can watch the helicopter cam on the very long main straight in Catalunya. Now you can really see Mango moving away to the right side a little bit to see a bit more of that apex. But not even close for any overtake opportunity. It's going to be painful here in the wet to be behind someone. Yes, in the wet you can recover ERS a lot quicker, but still Spain is a track in general where you consume a lot of your energy. And then without the DRS makes it a lot harder. So it's going to be some old school moves or waiting for mistakes of the cars ahead. I'm not sure if these guys will pit. I think they will. But at least that could make things interesting, as we have a yellow flag, and I think that's a Haas. Yep, severe for Ian, who spins again. So that's not the first time for him that he has spun. Previously making contact, of course. I don't even know with whom. As we can watch the race leader cruising around the circuit. And he, if he wants to pit, I'm not sure what his tire wear is at the moment. My telemetry thing was working, I would most likely know. But he's got a pretty big gap to P5 already, 11 seconds. So pit stop is around 19 seconds, I think, that you lose here. 19 seconds would put him, of course, into P11 or P12. So I don't think he's going to pit, but he's got at least a little bit of a gap to the car behind, so he can react to anything that is happening behind him. He's got 10 seconds to P4. So comfortable at the moment for Silai. In the lead, ahead of Carl in the Haas, who started this race on pole position. Getkovsky then still going in P3. Cucumber in P4 and Limitless in P5. Now Spine just got a penalty for corner cutting. I think it was a 3-second penalty, but he's out of his race anyway, most likely if there's no safety car. And God, I'll pray that there's not going to be another safety car, because this race is going to be forever. I just want to play. Gaps are mostly opening up everywhere now as the tire was starting to kick in. The Mango still being very close to Igor. Igor has lost out to Volcano ahead of him. And Mango now in P9, still in P9 of course. Trying to get past Igor, but again without that ERS recovery is so difficult. Shut up, what's this guy saying? Something about 16 seconds, shut the fuck up. Well, looking at the top left, seeing 15 laps to go, I was almost hoping already that we're halfway through, but no, it's just lap 15. There's still around 18 laps to go, so this is going to be a long race if the rain doesn't stop, and to be honest, it really does not look like it will. At least not for now, but as we all know in the game, the weather, sometimes it can change very, very quickly. Although in Spain in the first place, it doesn't even rain that much. Yes, we just watched an Alpine of Montana, almost losing it around turn 4. What should we do? Try and make this interesting. I really want to trash someone, but I don't know who. There's not many people I know here, so that's the thing. Like, you know, normally if I commentate races, there's a lot of people I can throw so much shit at. But these people here I barely know. But Montana comes into the pit lane. Also GF Drakatos pit. So is this a call for intermediates? Well, the Alpine driver, it is. Drakatos gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Fine, the AlphaTauri comes into the pit lane as well, and Ferrari pits for another set of wet tires. Yep, that's another set of wet tires. Fine pits for another set of new intermediate tires. So we have 2 drivers on intermediates now. Noel, I would think he might pit then as well. He doesn't. So we have 3 drivers now on intermediate. Lizard, oh, he's pitted last lap already. I completely missed that. So he was the first guy to pit, and he's put in the purple sector 1. So this might be now time to pit for the faster tire. And the rain, it really looks like it has significantly reduced in the last couple minutes. Still raining a lot, but the track doesn't look that wet anymore. And we can see some of the top runners pitting. So Steeleye comes into the pit, and they're all coming into the pit lane now. Carl stays out for another lap. Igor gets a penalty for cutting. Was that while pitting? Yeah, must have been while pitting. That's unfortunate for him. and they're all coming in for intermediate tires, of course. So Jakarta's fitting for wets was an absolute shit call. But what do you expect by a Ferrari driver and a Ferrari team? They will always be bad with strategies, and that seems to be a curse that also kicks on the drivers, as Lizard pulls on the fastest lap in 1:24.4, so a lot faster than anything before. Carl and Cucumber are going to lose out a lot, and Jakartas has surely got to pit again. So Getkovsky is now in the net P2. Yeah, and you can see how they're losing time on this slower wet tire. And Getkovsky is now 8.7 seconds behind the virtual race leaders. Noel DNFs in the pit lane, and somebody just got another penalty. I think they're speeding in the pit. Oh yeah, that was already retired. Anyway. Now Carl finally pits, and so does the Alpine of Cucumber. New sets of interest, but they're both gonna lose out. I don't know if Sealy might still have the gap. Carl might still have the gap. It's at least going to be very close with Getkovsky. He should be coming out just ahead of the Mercedes. Yep, he does. But he's on cold tires now. At least he's got the track position. If he can stay ahead in the next couple of corners, then he should have it covered. Providing he's got the pace, of course, to stay ahead of the Mercedes. But suddenly this race has gotten a little bit more interesting. As the Alfa Romeo, who had retired, is now finally gone. For some reason, they always leave the pit now when you retire. A little bit odd, and then they're not ghosted. Another issue, as we know, and Noel leaves the session. And Getkovsky stays very close to Carl, but he brakes way too late into turn 7. And now he's lost a lot of momentum. That puts NSX Montana back into the fight. And Limitless being 4 seconds behind this group as well. Thales Bram moves past Jakartos, who is still on that very, very slow wet tire. Now he's just dropping in positions. There's no way to fight for him. His race is over if there's no other stoppage, such as a safety car. NSX Sealine now at 1:22.7, so 2 seconds faster than the lap ago already. And he's got everything in his own hands. 9.2 seconds ahead of Carl. Has to look behind now. Starting on pole, very good pole position, of course, no doubt about that. And now he's got to fight for the podium. Montana being a little bit further ahead than Getkovsky, but this is a lot of pressure for the Haas driver now. And I'm asking myself if this rain is going to stop as well. We have 14 laps to go, including this one. But for the moment, there's still rain, still wet, and the intermediate is the fastest tire, and I think they're gonna go a little bit faster now. Sila another fastest lap again, but just 10 faster than before. So 1:22s. These guys are now in as Getkovsky goes for an attack on Carl, moves into the fence and out back onto the outside. Getkovsky is gonna try down the inside. No, he can't. For now, as you can try and compare the telemetries, Getkovsky has actually less than Carl. But for now, the Haas driver can still keep the Mercedes behind, but for how long? And Montana can keep up the pace for the moment. He has dropped a little bit in the last couple of laps. Limitless closed up a little bit to Montana, but not that much. For the moment, it's really Gatkowski and Carl, the battle on the track for P2. As we still have a little bit of a train around P10, 11, 12, and 13. We can check up with these guys. As you have a yellow flag, and there's a Haas driver who has dropped it. I think that was Ian who's lapped. Yeah, he's lapped. Fortunate for him, but good for him that he's still racing. His race, of course, being completely over now. Even with a safety car, he's out of it. Can't unlap yourself. And Cucumber being the fastest man on track now for the second consecutive fastest laps for the Alpine, who is really getting closer to Limitless now, who's also gained 3/10 to Montana in the last lap. And Montana dropped a lot to Gatkowski, so he really can't go the pace. As this train here in the fight for P10 is just getting longer and longer, P9 I should say. They have another yellow flag, but that's just for a slow moving Haas. Again, off here for Ian. And Gatkowski just moves past Carl and he goes into P2. I think Carl probably made a mistake around turn 7, 8, and 9. So Gatkowski moves past him. So that is P2 for the Mercedes. And I think it's going to be very tricky for Carl to try and repass the Mercedes. And Montana also got a lot closer to him again. But good for Carl is his pace in the last couple of laps was faster than the pace of Montana. And Marius and Lizard and Gian are having a bit of a fight. All in the last sector. Somebody is really holding up this pack or this train. And Marius moves into defense again as Gian tries to go for an overtake into turn 1. Goes down the inside, and that should be overtake done. As you get the Haas driver of Ian retiring finally of this race. He was last, race is gone. Now behind the Red Bull of Mango, was dropped into P13. He was running P9 for a long time in this race. Now dropping again to the back, or towards the back of the race. Gatkowski now 12 seconds behind Seeley. So if Seeley doesn't make any mistake, then that is his race win and the second win for him in a row. Don't think anybody behind can still mount a challenge. But this here is really the battle to be at, even though it's just for P9, but they're all fighting everywhere in the second sector and the third sector. And there you see another move, or actually just the defense by Marius, who went very wide down the turn 11 hairpin, defending from Talusborough. 9 laps to go. And now Gian finally gets past Lizard in the Alfa Romeo, but he's got the inside line, Lizard, and he stays ahead. Gian tries with a switchback down turn 5, but Lizard stays ahead. Uphill, the uphill chicane, turn 8, now turn 9. Obviously not flat on this tire. So Gian has got to try to go for another move. As you see, Lizard going very defensive. Oh, but he's got a little bit of rear locking, so he goes very deep, and that is the moment for Marius. And now they're all side by side, coming around the last few turns of the corner. I hope nobody's making contact here, as they're all sliding themselves around turn Oh, turn 13 and turn 14. Somebody's going to get a penalty. Yeah, Thales Pro, that was only a warning. Obviously, his third warning. Unfortunate. Marius also gets a penalty. So they're all just going wide. But it's very, very, very tricky, these track limits here. They're hunting you if you go over those lines by a millimeter. But they're still continuing their fight on lap 24, going into turn 1 and 2. Swapping positions all over the place. Jan now moves past Lisa. That was like his 10th attempt to move past here. Aston Martin losing around 50 positions, it felt like, in these last couple of corners in that particular fight. But he gets past the slow Alfa Romeo, who's now getting under pressure by Talispera. And that is a very good move. Overtake done into turn 7 and 8. Talispera into P11, Gian into P10, Marius into P9. And at the front, everything still stays the same as Limitless. Closes the gap now to Montana, and he's got Cucumber behind, who was on blistering pace in the earlier laps on that intermediate tire. So this is the fight for P4 as and P5. Now Cucumber actually goes for the attack on Limitless here. Let's have a look on their ERS levels. Oh, Cucumber is really pushing around turn 3. 50% ERS, 33 for Limitless. Gian moves past Marius now into P9. Now he can try and chase Igor and the Mercedes. Limitless goes very wide, so that gives the chance to Volcano, but Limitless stays at. So I think the top 3 have settled themselves. Carl manages to stay a long time for this. In the last few laps, manages to stay with Gatkowski. Now the gap 1.3, staying there, around there. But behind Montana, who has to push now. He's got a lot of fast drivers behind him. Limitless and Cucumber getting closer and closer every single lap. Montana having 33% ERS, so the least of everybody, but Limitless almost gained 15 to 20% on that last lap, so the recovery still works great in the wet conditions. Let's move on to lap 26. Limitless staying ahead of Cucumber, who's not going to go for a move into turn 1. Now they've caught up with Montana. But the question being here, of course, is this going to be a team fight or not? Are they fighting Limitless together? Or is everybody for themselves? Great shot now on the Helican again. And I think the rain has reduced a lot, so I think it actually might dry out a lot. I don't think it's gonna go for the dry tires, but I think it's barely raining anymore, if even. GFO Drakatos is the next guy to get a 3-second penalty, so at least the top 7 do not have any penalties yet, but behind few of them with speeding penalties and corner cutting penalties. But for these people here, it's been all clean so far. Mango, the next guy to get a penalty. He's dropped away in the race. I don't know what happened to him. Something must have happened. He's dropped a lot of positions in a very short time. Unfortunate for him, I guess, after being punted by Volcano on the last race in Bahrain. So it's going to be another 0 points finish for him, very likely at least. As Karl actually moved back very close onto the back of Gatkowski. Didn't expect that. Let's see the ERS here. They're both on the same levels. So I think it will be a tough fight for Karl. But he's got a little bit fresher tires. One lap. I don't know if that's going to be the difference at the end. Maybe it does if they're on very high tire wear. The rain has stopped, so the tires are going to start to overheat very soon. There's still 5 laps to go, 6 laps to go, including this one. And Limitless still trying to catch Montana, and Cucumber just behind him. And the train behind Lizard has pretty much broken up now. Spine is still trying to get past him. And there's also a fight going on for P9, Gian, Marios, and Talisbro. Those people were in that Lizard train before. Gian without a penalty, so he should be fine. And he should also finish ahead of Igor. Igor's got a 3-second penalty. So for Igor, it's going to be quite tight though. Even with points finishes, as Talisbro and P11, well, they also got penalties. Let's see what kind of penalties they have, actually. So, yeah, it's 3-3-3. So Igor's just going to lose 1 position with that penalty. So if we have a look at the standings, of course, Eli with that race win, if he gets the win, I don't think he's got the fastest lap. He has 50 points then, so he's still the championship leader. Gatkowski having 28 points. He should be in P2 then. But also Cucumber and Montana are going to be still very close to the top, having very good points finishes in Bahrain last week. Drakatos gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I think he's either retiring or going for the fastest lap. And Limitless still behind Montana, no chance going for the overtake. We have 4 laps to go. The rain has stopped, but you can see the track is still very wet. Well, not very wet, but it's still wet or damp. As Montana goes straight into defensive on the main straight. He's not moving away to get to the wet patches. There's nothing like that in this game, unfortunately, as it does not have any range physics. Oh, horrible sound here on that car. Lizard goes into the pits. I think he actually goes for the dry tires. Yep, he's going for the dry tires, so well, let's have a look what he can do on the soft tire. You can already see it in the pit lane. That asphalt is still wet, and it should be definitely way too early for him. But why not? You're almost last. Nobody cares. Just go for it. And who knows? Maybe if he can get the fastest lap. Well, Eli actually gets the fastest lap. It won 21.3. That's a lot faster than anything before. Gian gets the 3-second time penalty. So everybody there in that group now with 3 seconds of penalties. As we see, Lizard struggling, but Gatkowski puts in a 1:20.85, so I don't think Eli will get that time. And also with that, Gatkowski moves himself away from Karl, so I think that battle has also finished. DRS has been enabled, so Igor goes into the pit lane. This should be interesting. We have 3 laps to go. Igor just rolls the dice. Why not? That went very quickly, a lot quicker than I actually expected. So Igor is gonna come out in P13. Well, if nobody else pits, then he's not gonna get that time. He can really only hope that other people stop pitting as well. I think he might have thrown away a points finish here. But the track looks very dry. So these Inter tires are now screaming. You see the track is almost bone dry. So quickly as this there's all these, oh my god, 119.8, so times are still dropping, but I was gonna say so quickly as this track dried out. So Silai gets the fastest lap again, but I don't think he's gonna keep that for long as we have dry tires out, and Montana goes into the pit lane. So Montana, he's going for it. Drakatos 118.8, so not that much faster on the soft tire. Only a second faster on that soft tire. But Montana goes for the pit stop. That surprises me, to be fair. And that moves Limitless up into P4, Cucumber into P5. Montana was behind them anyway. Just very confused. Anyway. He's down in P10. There's no traffic, but if these people don't pit, I don't think that was it, really. Now Lisa at 117.0, so the times are plummeting now. Maybe they're gonna get it down to the 115, 114, but not enough to regain the time on a pit stop. Igor is still 8 seconds behind Spine, so yeah, that's far away of gaining time lost doing the pit stop. Now it's already in the 115.2 Drakatos, but he's out of it, long way off. Taking away the point, of course, for the fastest lap. If anybody in the top 10, he's not going to get a point, I think, outside the top 10. And now we see the move, Cucumber overtaking Limitless for 4th place. Great move down turn 1 for the Alpine driver, puts the Red Bull down into the shade. Montana getting past Talis Brown, the soft tire being a lot faster, of course, 114.6 by Igor. 4.8 seconds, but it's the last lap of the race. Montana goes into P8 and past Marius. So he should be able to gain another place at least, but I think that's going to be it for him. Tarlov trying on Gatkowski again, but it's going to be it. Nothing he can do as Silai, who controlled the race from lap 1 onwards, finishes in P1 and wins the 2nd race in the row. 50 points for him in the championship. Drakatos gets a 5-second time penalty for unserved penalty. Yeah, well, those messages are just going to pop in now. But he gets the fastest lap for the moment. That is, I think he was a left car. Limitless gets a penalty, but that doesn't really matter. P5 for NQ, Volcano P6. Montana, who went for the soft tire, dropped 2 positions, but he gained a couple positions again, but he dropped 2 in the end by going for that soft tire compound on the penultimate lap. Somebody's going wide. What's going on here? Mango, I think, looked like he tried to kill the I think Spine it was, yeah, in the AlphaTauri. Crazy stuff. Igor goes into P10, so he gets the point, but also, yeah, losing these positions. I think he pitted from P8 onto the soft tire, so it has not worked out for the drivers that went for the soft in the end. So Silai P1, Gatkowski P2, Carl P3. That's the podium for you. Montana gets the DOFD vote. Yeah.